I'm Judy Coverdale, and I came to Bundanoon 10 years ago to practice sculpture. So I did a Diploma of Fine Arts quite late in life and came down here to be able to do it. So I've been sculpting over 10 years. This is Moonboat, which I've just sold. And you'll see there's a theme about moons and suns in all of my work. So I came down here in 2006, and Moon Shadows and Moon Da were two of the first ones I had at Kangaroo Valley in 2007. So that theme of the moon has followed through because I'm very fond of it. So this is Moon Da. A tree that I did is behind it as well. Galileo's moon is 1609. Galileo did a drawing of the moon, which turns out from NASA to be completely accurate, even though he was going blind and all the rest of it. So I thought that was fantastic. So I did that in bronze and green granite. Eternity sculpture I did as a commission in Bundanoon, and what was lovely was that the moon shape came in the stone when we split it apart. It's Bundanoon stone. We found a moon in it. One of the stonemasons said it was just lines, but I told him it was a moon. This one's called Symphony of Sound. You can see the same thing, I guess, about moons and curves. That was in Kangaroo Valley. This one is about the Doppler effect of the sun. So I really like science and quantum physics and things like that. So the actual Doppler effect of the sun looks like that. It's very beautiful. And so I had it etched and engraved onto brass and glass. So at night it gets its own moon refractions and shadows. So, someone who's a really good person on physics bought that, so he actually understands it, which is nice. This is a series I did on moon and sun. You can see the same sort of shapes happening, but I think the moon and sun reflect on each other. This is called Clinging to the Moon. It's in the grounds at Hillview for this exhibition as well. I was asked what inspired it. I did a photo shoot with some people in the grounds of Frensham with some artists I was having an exhibition with at the Bowral Art Gallery called Down to Earth. And so there was the most beautiful ivy growing on a tree. I hope this works like this. But it was the most magnificent tall tree, and the ivy was just trying to hold it down in the ground, and I thought it was very beautiful. So I did lots of photos of the ivy, and I actually kept some leaves and scanned them and had them cut out of green granite and engraved. So this one is called Catching the Moon in a Bed of Roses. So I did this for Hillview a couple of 4 years ago in a garden bed which turned out to be a cold frame propagation box, which was empty and looked a bit tragic. So I got some Glamis Castle roses, which are from Windsor Castle, where the Queen Mother was brought up, and put the Catching the Moon in there. It's the lady who bought it up in Sydney. I was pleased to know she bought it as a memorial to her late husband, and she loves the way it sits in the garden and reflects the moon. So that's part of what I like to do, to give things nice homes. This is another one which is now at Golden Vale, the National Trust property, called Blue Moon Rising, and that one glows at night. I do have a picture of it, but I haven't got it here. It's in there, and it gets the glow of the moon. So that's quite nice. This was Hillview Moon, which was here 2 years ago and has sold. And I do have another picture of that. It's now on the top of a property in Bowral, and he's got lots of cows who stood around looking at it when we were taking a picture of it, which is quite cute. So I thought they were a very sophisticated herd, really. So anyway, I did the down lanterns on the hill for Hillview in 2012. to signal the exhibition. So people are always asking what the down lanterns are about. This year I put a metal sign out there at the top of the hill so people can walk and actually see them. The down country of England was chalk country, and in the Middle Ages people used to build mounds of chalks to see from village to village in the dark. They're alluding to Lord Wakehurst. He lived here during the war and was a very popular governor. And Wakehurst Parkway, there's many places named after him. He helped fight bushfires in Mossvale. So I thought it was a good illusion, and it's a subtle thing in the paddock. So this is meant to be a signal that Hillview's there, and if you've gone past those mounds, you've missed it. So this year I have drawn a sign which is a Viking rune symbol, which is the algae is the rune symbol for protection. And it's like an elk's horns, or it's like sedge grass, and it's meant to keep open space around you and keep you safe. So I guess I try and give meaning or say things in my sculptures, but I also like the aesthetic and to make things beautiful. And I also like to make things that people love. I've done several commissions for the people who bought that in 2007, and one of them sits at Balmoral outside their window, and she does the washing up and looks at it all the time. So I really like that sort of thing that people love. And the people I did this one, I ran into the other day, and he said they really treasure it and they love it, and it's withstood, you know, hail, rain and everything else. So I'm very happy that they are long lasting and they're meant to be there for people's enjoyment and to give them a sense of place and meaning. So I was an anthropologist in the beginning, and I did my thesis on community, sense of community and urbanism, and there's meaning behind what I do. I'm trying to give people a sense of place and space and meaning. I found this beautiful date palm pod at another sculptor's backyard at their studio, and it's so beautifully formed. It reminded me of the Viking boats in Oslo at the museum I saw there in Norway. And the fact is that they were so shallow, so they had hardly any protection from the elements, and they really had that sort of shape. And I just thought that was amazing that they did all that seafaring in such small vessels. So it really reminded me of that. So I had the Carrara marble and the other designed. I did it on CAD and then sent it to China and had it made and brought back, especially for this. So I went in 2008 to China with a supplier of stone because they've done quite a bit of the stone for me. So I went to see their factory in Xiamen and to an international stone fair. So I have a good relationship with them. I saw them a couple of days ago, and so I really love stone, but it's a very hard, time-consuming thing to work in. So if I can design it, they can do some of the things for me, which is great. So that's what Moonboat's about. Hillview is a beautiful place to hold this because of the lovely undulating landscape and the fine view from the hill, which is why it was named. It was chosen in the early days for the governor's residence because it was like the Argyll country and back home, and very beautiful country, which Governor Macquarie identified as like pleasure grounds when he came through in the 1820s. So it's a very old scene of settlement, and it's a beautiful spot to have this exhibition, which is now becoming very established, like Sculpture by the Sea. So we're lucky that it's come of age now.